So we're going to talk about today why you are not going to hit your New Year's goals. These are just facts of why, it's going to be very hard for you to be successful at the goals that you have in mind, or you're not going to achieve them at all. And I don't want that to be negative. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be honest with you to help. So yeah, let's get after it. Number one, you have too many things and you're too broad with your goals. So you have too many things. So you want to, from where you are right now, obviously, getting better sleep, hitting your steps, drinking some water, hitting the gym, waking up at a good time, going to bed at a decent hour, blah, blah, blah. Those are all things that are very manageable once you've stacked them, and you've worked on one for a while, nailed that, then start working on, you know what I mean? Those are things that could very easily be a part of your everyday life. But when you're going from you're not doing any of them at all to trying to do them all, that's too many. So for example, if right now you have your workouts nailed, you don't miss a workout. And I'm using this example because so many people struggle with this. So you don't miss a workout at all. You crush through workouts. So that's great. That's one thing that you already have. So then, yes, you can say, okay, I'm going to continue being consistent with my workouts and add tracking my calories. So you see how that's really just one thing, but you're going to maintain the thing that you're already doing. So in order to really make a realistic list of goals that you want to do, you need to figure out where you are right now. What are you doing right now that you can, add to, and then just go from there. And then also they're just too broad. So again, I want to move more. Okay, what does that mean? I want to go to a class. I want to start, going to a strength, doing a strength circuit at the gym twice a week at 5 o'clock in the morning. You need to be very, very specific with what you want to do and how you're going to do it. I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, that's great, but that's too broad. How are you going to lose 20 pounds though? Because those are the goals that you're working towards. So you haven't identified those yet. And if that's you, then you can go to my previous video on how to set up your goals, and that's going to walk you through it. And kind of to go into that one, you have no plan. So you just go into the gym and you're just walking around and you're like, I guess I'll do that. I guess I'll do that. I saw a girl on Instagram doing that. I want to do that. You don't have an actual plan. You're not writing things down. So that way the next week you can come in and do the same thing, because you really shouldn't be just doing random exercises every time you go to the gym. You have no way of properly progressively overloading that to build muscle, help you lose fat, help whatever your goals are. So yeah, going into the gym and just doing random workouts, it's also very frustrating, I remember, quick story, last week, I went into the gym. I had a lower body lift to do, but I just didn't feel like doing that workout. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a few exercises, just random that, just to get something done, because I didn't feel like doing my program. Those days will come, it's not a big deal. So I started doing, I was like, okay, I guess I'll do jump lunges, and I guess I'll do some kettlebell swings. And then I just got so, I don't know, disorganized. And even though I've been doing this for so long, I'm so used to a plan, okay, I'm doing this first, and then this, and this, and this, that I got just so disorganized and frustrated. And I literally then was like, forget it, I'm just gonna do cardio. I got on the bike for 10 minutes and just left because I wasn't feeling it. Nothing, I wasn't feeling anything, so it was just really frustrating. But I see people do that all the time. They go into the gym and they feel lost. They don't know what to do because they don't have a plan. It's going to give you confidence to have a plan. You go in there, you have something on your phone, on a piece of paper, whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm doing this first. Even if you don't feel so confident in that exercise, it's your first time ever doing a goblet squat, you're still gonna feel more confident knowing that you have something to look at, that you're following something, and it's just gonna give you confidence, and it's going to help you be more successful with your program. So yeah, you don't have any plan. So if you need a plan, I'm trying to think if I'm gonna look through and see if I've done a video on how to write your own workout, and I'll link it here, but if not, maybe I'll do that video next week if you're interested, but on how to just put together a workout for yourself. Or obviously you can get somebody to do it for you if you don't want to do it yourself. And then another thing is you're too intense. You're going too hard. You know what I mean? You've never done a squat ever in your life and you go straight to the barbell rack. Okay, you need to do some body weight squats. You need to grab a dumbbell, do some dumbbell squats. You know, you need to try like different, less intense things. The barbell, that's one of the hardest squats that you can do. It's like you're putting you got to start with 45 pounds, period. So your form has to be perfect and you have to start with 45 pounds because that's what the bar weighs. You can't go any less than that. So it's like, you're doing too much. And I know it's because you see other people doing it, or you're going through TikTok and Instagram and you're like, oh, this is a great workout. That's great, but that's where they are in their fitness level. So you have to figure out where you are. If you've never done the movement at all, then you need to backtrack a little bit. Going too hard too soon, so many things can happen. You can get frustrated because you're like, why can't I do this? Why can't I only do the bar? Why can't I only put 10 pounds on each side? That's nothing. When in reality, that isn't nothing, but you feel like it's nothing because you're comparing yourself to somebody that you're watching on Instagram who's been lifting for 8 years, you know? So it's very frustrating, and you're gonna be sore as hell also. And the goal isn't to be sore as hell. That doesn't do anything for you. Being sore, you know, you're not doing anything by being sore. Being sore just means that that's a new movement pattern for you. Maybe you pushed, you know, pretty hard in your workout, and that's okay. It's okay to be a little tender, but you shouldn't be sore after every single workout, and you shouldn't be sore for days, like 3, 4, 5 days at a time. That's something wrong if you're sore for that long. So, yeah, it's a bad feeling. Nobody wants to not be able to walk around. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I'm like a little tender, I'm like, ooh, I got that good, or I did a new exercise. That feels kind of good, you know? But I don't, like, you shouldn't be sore for days though. You should be sore for maybe a day or two, and then it'll ease off, you know? So that can be very frustrating because especially if you have a life, you have to work, you have children, you have a husband, you have a family, you have whatever you have to do. Nobody wants to walk around sore all the time. It's so uncomfortable. So yeah, you're just doing too much. You know, you're jumping around, you're making yourself way too sore. You're doing exercises that are too advanced for you. And that's the thing, is like, we look at it and we're like, oh, well, no, I can do that. Like, nobody wants to be a beginner. Nobody wants to humble themselves and be a beginner. And it's so weird to me because, like, I'm a beginner sometimes, all the time. Like, if I'm trying something new, like I'm trying Copenhagen planks for the first time. Oh my gosh, am I a beginner? Like, I'm not, there's no shame in that. You're a beginner, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the thing is that nobody wants to be a beginner, but you need to be a beginner because that's how you're gonna progress properly in the most effective way and see the most progress. And then, so on the other end of being too intense, there's also, you're not doing enough, which is like, wait a second, you know what I mean? So that's why, you know, health and fitness is so individualized per person. So whenever I'm saying these videos and stuff, just think about it. I'm speaking to like the general, like, you know, population. Like, you might have different things for you that might apply more, or, you know, just think of it as a generalization. So not enough, what does that mean? Okay, so I'm doing too intense, but I'm also not doing enough. Okay, so not enough to see any progress, because the motivator that's gonna keep you going is to be able to see some progress. So if you get stronger, if you lose a few pounds, if you have more energy, if you can start sleeping through the night, if you know, don't feel so sluggish throughout the day. Like, those are all progress if your pants fit a little looser, you know what I mean? Like, that's all gonna be progress that is going to fuel your motivation to keep you going. So if you're not doing enough, so too intense, right, is going way too hard, you know, I'm working out 5 days a week. I haven't worked out in years, you know? I'm doing barbell back squats, and then walking lunges, and then I'm going straight into jump squats, and then I'm gonna go to HIIT class. Like, that's too much. But not enough is I'm going to go to the gym once a week and I'm not changing my diet. I'm just gonna go to the gym once a week for now. Like, yes, that 1 day a week is going to, you know, make you feel good probably. It's gonna give you some endorphins, you know, whatever, but it's not gonna move anything for you. If your goal is muscle building, it's not gonna do enough for that. If your goal is weight loss, it's not gonna do enough for that. If your goal is heart health, it's not gonna give you more endurance. So it's not enough to see any progress in any amount of time. So that's going to make you feel like it's not working. So that's why you just need to find the balance of where you are, what you can realistically do, and then also match your expectations to that. So let's just say, for argument's sake, like, okay, Kendra, well, all I do have is 2 times a week. I cannot find, I roll my eyes. I can't find 20 minutes in the entire week. My life is so busy that I can't find 20 minutes other than 2 times a week. Okay, I'll give it to you. Then that's fine. Then you are gonna have to do your 2 times a week for 20 minutes because you don't have any other time in the week. And then your expectations, you need to match that, right? So you need to say, okay, I'm only doing 40 minutes of any kind of, you know, workouts. I am, you know, the only thing I'm changing in my diet is I'm packing my lunch. Every other meal is gonna be exactly the same. The weekends are the same, everything's the same. So you need to just match your expectations that, yeah, you might feel a little bit better. You might really not notice anything, but just accept that and let your expectations match that, because if not, you're gonna get really like, what's that word that I'm trying to use? Like defeated, because you're like, why am I doing this? It's not even working. But it's like, it's not that it's not working, it's that what you're doing isn't really moving the needle fast enough for you. But if you keep at it, you know, a year or so, you might get some progress. Okay. You have no social support. So you haven't like told your family what you're doing. You haven't asked them to be on board. You haven't asked them to help you. You are, you know, if you're going out with friends, you need to maybe preface it to them. Like say, hey, this is really important to me. I still want to go out with you guys. I still want to have fun and do things, but I'm going to pull back and I'm just going to have, you know, 2 drinks for the night, and I'm actually gonna eat before I come, so I'm not gonna eat at dinner or whatever, you know what I mean? Or I'm ordering this, I've already looked at the menu and this is what I'm ordering when I'm out, so please, you know, nobody, like, let's not make a big deal out of this. I just want to have a good time. But like, you haven't recruited any social support wherever that means for you. So whether that's at home or whether you're, you know, a single person, and that means like whenever you're going out with friends or whatever you're doing around family, you haven't recruited that social support. So a lot of times, I know this happens because, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna hurry, but a lot of times this happens because people are embarrassed to fail publicly. So they won't tell anybody what they're doing, because if they don't succeed, then they don't want people to ask them questions, and it makes them embarrassed. And at the end of the day, who cares? I know it's easier said than done, but like, I couldn't even imagine the regret of not trying because you were too embarrassed to tell people that you were trying. What? No, ma'am. So recruit some social support, put it out there, tell people what you're doing, ask them to help, tell them these are my struggles, you know, please, you know, don't offer me that or whatever, you know, ask somebody if they want to work out with you. Hey, do you want to go for a walk? You know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays after we get off work, I can meet you here. Like, you need to recruit people to help you change your lifestyle. And then patience. So you set these goals in January. If you don't hit them all by the end of January, you quit, you give up, this doesn't work for you. That's just not the case. A lot of the goals, like for example, for me that I've set are like years down the line. Like these are the major goals are things that I want to work towards, but I know I'm not going to accomplish the big ones for a few years. But the processes that are going to get me to that major goal, whether it's at the end of this year, at the end of next year, at the end of the following year, are the things that I need to focus on right now. Those are the things that I'm going to do that are going to get me closer to that big goal. But it's not going to happen. It might not happen this year. And some of your goals might happen this year, you know? But it's like, you're not giving yourself enough time for it to actually work. So be patient with yourself. Just know that you're not going to change all of your habits. You will slip up, however you want to call it. I hate calling it messing up, but you will like get off track, derail yourself, whatever you want to call it. And it's just super simple. Hop right back on. It's not a big deal. But if you let it, you know, convince you that you can't do this, then you won't do this, you know? So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message. Bye.